Hi, everybody. Welcome to Phil and Dave's Excellent Adventures. Just Dave here. Today I'm talking about the movie Perfect Days. This is going to be a spoiler review, so if you are concerned about spoilers, I would suggest you go and watch the movie first before you watch this review. So, Perfect Days is a movie by Wim Wenders. It's by a script written by him and Takuma Takasaki. It's co-production between Japan and Germany. It's about a public toilet cleaner in Tokyo named Hirayama and how he kind of finds joy in the little things in life. I guess there's a little more to it than that. As far as what I liked about the movie, I thought the cast was great. I really liked Kōji Yakusho as Hirayama. I'm not familiar with him. I haven't really seen him in anything before. He's a Japanese actor, but he was great. His performance was really good. Throughout, all the performances were very good. I'm not really familiar with any of these actors at all, but I liked Tokyo Emoto as Takashi, Arisa Nakano as Nico, Oe Yamada as Aya, Yumi Aso as Kiko. They're all great, honestly. Sayura Ishikawa as Mama. Pretty much everyone in this movie was throughout very good. Even Wim Wenders, the director, shows up as like a guy in the cassette shop. So yeah, all good stuff, all really good performances, very nuanced and very subtle, and I really appreciate it. I mean, I would say definitely the main actor, Koji Yakusho, is the standout here. Thought the cinematography was great. It's by Franz Lustig. He's done a lot of stuff with Wim Wenders, like Anselm, and I don't know if Don't Come Knocking was Wim Wenders, but either way, he's done a lot of stuff with Wim Wenders. Very good. It's a beautiful looking movie. Some really great shot choices. I really liked all the shots of like the trees and the black and white sort of stuff they did for the dreams. That was all very cool. I really like the music in this as well. It was by Milena Fessman. She worked on Pina and Maria. Pina, I believe, is also a Wim Wenders movie. And this has got one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard, honestly. I love 60s, 70s music, and this is filled with a lot of that, and I love that stuff. So we had House on the Rising Sun by the Animals, Pale Blue Eyes by the Velvet Underground, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding, Redondo Beach by Patti Smith, Walking Through Sleepy City by the Rolling Stones, Perfect Day by Lou Reed, Sunny Afternoon by the Kinks, just a great Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison, Feeling Good by Nina Simone, and then a couple covers of some of those songs as well. Great. I loved the soundtrack in this. As soon as it starts out and you hear, I forget what the first song is that they play, but either way, once he puts in that cassette and I start hearing it, I'm like, yes, this is great. And I was so stoked when Perfect Day came up by Lou Reed. I don't know why I didn't expect it to be in the movie, but when it did come up, it was great. And Pale Blue Eyes, I mean, yeah, awesome stuff. Hirayama is a great character, just one of my favorite characters ever. I loved him so much. He was so fun and so cute, and I just really cared about this guy who I didn't really know much about. The movie is just very cute, just almost too cute. I remember texting my friend as I was watching, like, I can't handle how cute this movie is. It's so cute, adorable. It's like the thing with the tic tac toe was just so cute and sweet and heartwarming, and I was so excited because at first he like doesn't play along, and I'm like, dude, you got. And then when he pulls it back out to start playing, I'm like, oh, I was like yelled in joy. I was so happy that he started playing tic tac toe and all the stuff with the cassettes. And he takes me, realizes they're worth money and stuff, and his coworker tries to get him to sell them for money, and he doesn't do it, but he ends up giving him the money, and then he ends up running out of gas, so he needs to sell the cassette tape, all that stuff. A lot of really heartwarming, nice stuff. I like when his niece came to stay with them, and his when her mom comes to pick her up, and she's like, I haven't finished the book yet. He's like, take the book with you. I love that he didn't even think about it, like he just it's just a very nice, very friendly guy who seems to help people all the time. I like that there's not a lot of exposition. They don't really explain like, oh, Takashi, you used to be a government worker, or you used to be a stockbroker, or what, Hirayama, sorry. Hirayama used to be a stockbroker or this and that. And they don't really explain that stuff. You just you figure it out on your own. I really appreciate that. And there's not a lot of dialogue because you don't really need it. You kind of just see in the facial expressions and in the silences and in just in the dialogue when it is there. A lot of it's very minimal. It's just yeah, oh, okay. And that's all you need for a lot of this kind of stuff. I think one of the reviews I saw for this that really sold me on watching the movie was they said if mindfulness was a movie, and I think that's a perfect description of this. This is very much just like like the what is it, Headspace or whatever that app was. It's very much like a meditative kind of thing. There's a lot of cool little lines in here too that maybe you could say are a little pretentious or don't really mean anything, but it works for me. Like next time is next time, now is now. I like that. And they sort of repeat it a bunch of times. And the whole thing about shadows getting darker when they overlap stuck out to me because I watch a lot of stuff about VFX. And that's always a way to tell if a shot is VFX or not. If the shadows stack and overlap on each other, shadows don't normally do that. But yeah, and of course, there's more to that. There's sort of an allegory there for just life, I guess, and death, I suppose, as well, and everything else. There's a lot going on, a lot more to this movie than maybe it seems, you know. I appreciate that there's not really any romance in this movie. I was expecting that to come up eventually, like either he would find a girlfriend or he'd start dating the woman at the bar or the woman at the bookstore or, you know, his new coworker or Takashi's, you know, girlfriend ends up, you know, getting, there's none of that. There's really not really any romance in this, at least not with our main character. And I appreciated that. I like that. Like I said, it is complex. I think a lot of people saw this movie, and even the director himself said, "Oh, it's just about a guy sort of finding joy in the little things in life." And I think that is what the movie's about. But there's more to it. There's this sort of melancholic undertone to it, especially at the end where you see him and he's smiling, you know, as he's listening to "Feeling Good" by Nina Simone. But there's also a sadness there, you know, and he's also almost crying at times. And so I don't know. I think you can interpret it in a couple of different ways, and I appreciate that. I think most people are saying, "Hey, this is about, you know, finding joy in the small things in life," but there's also a bit of like, yeah, there's still a bit of sadness there, and just realizing that it's not always easy to do, and sometimes you got to kind of fake it till you make it. I don't know, but I thought it was really good, and I really liked it. It was just a very good character study. And you can kind of debate, is he content with his life, or is he, you know, just kind of on the brink, barely hanging on? I'm not sure. But I did like that it is about finding beauty in everyday life. There's certainly aspects of that, especially in the beginning of the movie. And I think the movie is just absolutely beautiful. It's the kind of thing I could put it on and without even any dialogue, without any sound on, and just like watch it just all day, honestly. And I really liked the ending. I really liked that it just held on him, and you sort of see the sadness in his smile, much like the Strange Darling I lost last week. The movie just ends with holding on sort of the main character. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really, really liked it. As far as what I disliked about the movie, it is maybe a little slow. And it's a little light on plot. Not much really happens, but I'm fine with that. Honestly, I don't mind. But I'd have to watch it again to see. But I feel like the first 10 minutes or so, maybe 15 minutes, there's not even any dialogue. I don't think. I think it's just, you know, just vibing, which is fine. I like that. I think you could argue. Some people could say the movie is maybe a bit pretentious or even a bit boring. I wouldn't say that personally. I enjoyed it, but I think maybe it's the kind of thing if I watched it, you know, when I was 12 or 13, I would probably be like, this movie sucks, it's boring. But no, I really like this movie. I enjoyed this movie. So it's directed by Wim Wenders. He's a German guy. He did Paris, Texas is probably his most famous movie. He also did Wings of Desire, Until the End of the World. He's done a bunch of stuff. It was written by Wim Wenders as well. He writes most of the stuff he does. So all of those, Anselm, Pina, and Takuma Takasaki, who I'm not familiar with his stuff. I think he's a Japanese guy. He did Hanoka Boy and Time Slip Harubi Yasube. Okay, yeah, but I really enjoyed the writing in this. I thought it was great. I'm not sure what kind of budget this movie had, but it made about 25 million at the box office. So not the kind of movie designed to make a ton of money or anything like that, but more than I expected, honestly. Rotten Tomatoes scores on this are pretty good. The critics are at 96% and the audience is at 89%. So honestly, a higher audience score than I expected. But yeah, it was only filmed in like 17 days too. So they basically shot this in just a little over 2 weeks. And I appreciated the 4:3 aspect. I didn't even notice it, honestly, for most of the movie until I'm like, oh, hey, has it been like that the whole time? Oh, that's cool. Apparently, that was all done intentionally as sort of an homage or something to Yasujiro Ozu. Not a director I'm familiar with, but he did a lot of these kind of similar slice of life kind of movies. And even the name Hirayama was the name of the last character in Ozu's movie and in a couple other movies as well. So this movie was kind of based on the public toilets. Obviously, he works at the public toilets. They were built to help welcome visitors to Japan as part of the Summer Olympics in 2020. But then the pandemic delayed the Olympics. So then the company, Fast Retailing was the name of it, decided to sort of make a documentary about their toilets. They got Wim Wenders, who instead decided to make a full-length movie. That's great. It's really cool. It's kind of an interesting way to come about this movie. The books that he reads in this, there's a couple of them, but quite a few, I think. But The Wild Palms by William Faulkner, Trees by Aya Koda, and 11 by Patricia Highsmith are the ones that I noticed. It competed for the Palme d'Or at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival, and it won the prize of Ecumenical Jury and Best Actor award for Kōji Yakusho. So that's cool. It was also the official submission for Japan for the Best International Feature Film category at the Academy Awards in 2024. This movie did come out in 2023, but I just watched it a couple days ago, so that's why I'm reviewing it now. I also do appreciate that Wim Wenders went into Hirayama's backstory. Or Yeah, which basically he says he was like a successful businessman. One day he woke up in a hotel room, didn't know how he got there, and thought about kind of just ending his life. And then a ray of sunlight comes through, and it falls on the tree, and it strikes him as beautiful, and it kind of made him change his life and sort of go the way that he went, which I appreciate. They don't tell you that in the movie. You have to kind of just figure that out on your own, I guess. But that's fine. That's cool. It's cool. Good to know that backstory because yeah, you see his sister and you realize she's successful. What happened there? So yeah. But other than that, I really like the movie. I think this is my favorite movie of the year so far, even though it did come out last year. And I think I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I think the movie's honestly kind of perfect. I love this movie. I just started watching it again and I got wrapped up in it because I was so captivated by it. Yeah, I would definitely highly recommend seeing this movie if you haven't watched it yet. And if you saw the movie, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great night, and I will see you here again next week.